Good morning. Welcome back to Gamer Behind the Rose, Werewolf the Forsaken campaign, Blood in the Soil. We have made it to episode 7 of our little rural horror journey. Before we get started on this, snowy Saturday morning in Iowa, let's go ahead and reintroduce our players. Jeremy, who are you and who do you play?
I'm Jeremy, and I'm playing Spooky, the spooky blood-telling werewolf.
Great. Dennis, who are you and who do you play?
Hey, I'm Dennis. I play Jim Masters. I am a Cahalith Bone Shadow.
Cool. And John, who are you?
I am playing James Larson. I am a Raka Iron Master.
And finally, Ender, who are you and what do you play? Or who do you play?
I'm Ender Astreus. I am playing a Aladoth Hunter in Darkness, going by the name of Uncle Ben.
Sounds good. As a reminder, we will not be doing any depictions of torture to nails or eyeballs, and we will not be doing any graphic sexual depictions. Other than that, we can just let blood fall from the sky, and everyone has fun with that. So, when we left off, the pack had listed their quest log of issues that they could handle. They had checked off a few things. You had successfully prevented the Billings Farms little drinking pond from continuing its journey towards being a wound. It was a ways away, but if you would have ignored it, it would have got there, and then it would have been very problematic. You had checked in with everybody. James had passed around information to the packs that you're in contact with, and you had your checklist of things to do. The session ended with finding out that Des Moines has what they consider as a bigger problem. Governor Reynolds' advisor has apparently transformed into a dragon thing. And as far as you can tell, only Uratha are able to see that this is a dragon. Everybody else believes it is still just your average politician. That is where I will let you start. As you guys are in the barn reviewing that. As you're kind of looking at each other, you hear a few things before you have a chance to talk. You hear two of the farm children run past the entrance to the barn. Little Timmy is chasing little Susie. Timmy is saying, "You got it in my journal. You got it in my journal. I'm going to go tell mom." That's not important. And then you hear one of the farmhands that's a member of your pack say to another farmhand that's not a member of your pack, "Are those more police cars over at the Smith farm?" So you're in the barn. You just watched the video. You have heard those two things. What would you like to do?
Making a cult check to see if I know what that freaking dragon thing is?
Sure.
What?
I will assist.
Spirits will apply. Spirit spec.
While they're doing that, I'm going to go and look outside at the potential police vehicles down at the Smith farm.
Take one more dive, Jim.
Okay.
And can I get assistance from the
knowledge one?
Knowledge spirit.
Sure. I think within the same day he'd already assisted you. So I think he's already used his influence on you for the day. So I think you're floating at a bonus to knowledge.
Cool.
What you got?
2 successes.
Okay. With 2 successes,
On a pool of 15. Curse my dice.
yeah, the odds are not in your favor. With 2 successes, you know you're going to have to do more research or look more into it later. But with 2 successes, yeah, there's tales. There's tales among the spiritual community across the globe. There's tales among the Uratha you've managed to interact with that when the world was new, there might have actually been dragons or dragon-like things. And so, if what you're looking at is a dragon-like thing, with 2 successes, I will give you that it is probably really old. And you can later on do more research to build from there. But that's just what you know off the top of your head. Okay, Uncle Ben. Going outside the barn, join a couple of the farm hands and take a look across the farm. 2 police cars are driving up. You miss them over a hill, and then you wait a second. You see them come winding up, and you can see, if you go down to your fence, you can see them pull up to Mr. Smith's farm, way off in the distance. One of the farm hands is going full creepy neighbor and has pulled out like some binoculars. Anyone else that wants to come outside and watch this can. Jim's check was literally him thinking for a second.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to go check that out.
Okay.
Once done throwing ideas with Jim, go speak to the outside.
Sure. The spirits also gather, and you're looking out, and you see one of the police officers walk up to the front door. The other police officers stay by the car. There's 4 police officers in total, 2 for each car. One that walks up to the door, knocks, gives a tip of his hat to some of the children and grandchildren of Old Man Smith that are gathered around the farm. Eventually, somebody answers the door. Police officer steps in. About 10-15 minutes pass, and you see looks of concern on the faces of the people outside, and they all kind of snap their heads like they're hearing commotion inside the house. And with your heightened abilities, you hear the faintest of loud noises, like an argument, but you can't make out the details from here. And then a couple minutes beyond that, the police officer walks Old Man Smith out handcuffed, and goes and puts him in a police cruiser. Old Man Smith's family are you could tell they are pondering, what do we do here? Like they've got, and being werewolves, you can appreciate the thoughts going through their heads, we have the numbers on these cops, we could take them, but then there would be consequences. And so the more mature, cooler heads of the family hold back the more emotional members of the family. And the 2 police cars drive off, having arrested Old Man Smith.
Did one of us do that?
That's a really good question.
I don't think so. We framed Fresh Start for stealing his money, not the other way around. I thought.
That was the goal, although if Fresh Start has enough resources, they may have made it. They may have essentially bribed the police into saying, he must have stolen our equipment.
So, I'm going to see if Grandma has made a batch of cookies yet. for one.
Yeah.
For two, I suppose we should. Maybe my law enforcement contact might have some information for us.
It's also possible they're blaming him for his missing child.
But we should find out. So
The response shouldn't be that fast.
I mean, we know where a piece of him is.
Hey, so check and see if Ma has cookies made.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. And then the second thing is calling my contact in law enforcement.
Okay. Cool. So go ahead and make. Well, first off, what information are you trying to get out of the contact?
Specifically, what they've heard in relation to the Smith farm and the Smiths recently.
Give me. I think it's you pitch me a social pool.
Manipulation, social skill.
Yeah.
Manipulation, any social skill of your choice.
Persuasion is my normal one, so I will go ahead and use that.
Okay, cool. And just so we're clear, the way I read that merit is unless you botch it, the contact will try to give you some info. The successes are how useful is this use of contacts.
Right.
That's how I read it. Because, I mean, you spent XP on getting it, so I don't want it to be a completely worthless thing because you're not social statted.
Yep. All right, so 3 successes.
Okay.
We'll go ahead and expend one of the inspireds that I picked up from last game for that to make that an exceptional.
Cool. Okay. Your contact in the police will say that if you check out the bigger Iowa news networks, you'll see that an arrest was made on 2 members of the Fresh Starts Realty Company. What has not hit the news is that they have provided testimonies that Mr. Smith was in on the fraud that they were doing. They basically are trying to throw him under the bus. Your police contact is I mean, we see through it completely. So will everyone else. But it's kind of how the game is played. He is an ignorant, no offense, farmer. They are legal con men, basically. And so they are going to end up seeing a day in court, paying a big fine, and then being let out on probation because they tossed the court a real criminal. So that's basically what your police contact tells you there is you'll see on the news that Brad and Lily have been arrested. They're currently in jail in Cedar Rapids, and they will be out of your hair for at minimum a month or 2 with this whole thing. But they'll probably then just pop right back out of jail and then be screwing over farmers and small businesses. And Mr. Smith hopefully won't spend time in jail over this, but
yeah,
we'll see. While you're on the phone with your police contact, with your exceptional, he goes, "Hey, speaking of news, have you been following what's going on over at Lake Panorama?"
No, what's going on over there?
So out of character for those that don't know, Lake Panorama National Golf Course is, I think, Iowa's biggest golf course, or one of our biggest golf courses. And it is about 45 minutes west of Des Moines. And he goes, so if you pull up the news, and I assume you do, well, just you pull up the news, you see police have currently barricaded all entrances in and out of Lake Panorama National Golf Course. We do not have full details at this time. It is believed there was a violent altercation either in the clubhouse or on the greens. This is a developing story. Your police contact goes, okay, just so you know, I just got to get this off my chest because this is some weird stuff. Something ain't right over there. The reason they're barricading all the entrances and exits is because, it was nice weather. All of the locals, all the old men got together for the first big game, outing, and all of the ladies went to play, rummy in the clubhouse, and it was all going fine. And they all snapped. Like you see that movie from a couple years back with the kids that all have to kill each other?
Sure.
Okay, so like that, but out of nowhere, nobody was asking them to. And so everyone in that area just started attacking each other. And I'm talking like crazy stuff. Like some of the early reports is like apparently some old man hit one of his best friends over the back of the head with a club, and while his friend was on the ground, forced golf balls down his throat. Who does that?
I don't know a single person that would do that. Look over at Spooky.
So there's some bad stuff going on over there. I just thank you for letting me get that off my chest.
Anytime. Thank you. You enjoy the rest of your day.
Yep. So yeah. Do you relay that too?
Oh yeah, I'll relay all of that to them. We'll include the fact that we should likely also go and visit the Spits at this point.
A golf course is a good place for a battle royale, I guess. Just don't know why.
So I will give you guys a quick memory check.
What's the roll for that?
Into composure.
It's used a lot.
It is used a lot. That's why there's a whole merit devoted to it.
Just the 2 successes.
Dramatic failure for me.
Yep, dramatic failure for me too.
Same.
Now it's Spooky's time to shine in the memory department.
Okay. So Spooky, since you guys were just in the barn, or no, you'd have a TV in the barn. So you guys were watching those news articles in the barn. Spooky looks from the 3 people that are like James and Jim and Uncle Ben and some of the spirits that Oso chose to botch. And they're all sitting there, they're like, I remember, yeah. There was, you're thinking to yourself, you're like, yeah. There was this corrupted spirit of competition we heard about once. And we heard that it was somewhere in the area over in that part of the state. Yeah, that must be it. They must all be getting driven mad by this spirit of competition. It must be mind controlling them. And as the 3 of you are kind of out loud pondering this thing, Spooky is looking at you, looking at your conspiracy map board of Iowa, looking back at you, looking at the board.
slowly walks up, puts another pin a
Yeah,
little bit further east.
that's what I was going to say. Guys,
Right.
No, the
Anywhere
three of
we-
us agree it's definitely not that.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you sure about that one, Spooky?
I'm leaving the tech up.
That seems like it's not quite a straight line there anymore. I mean,
I'm gonna put a question mark on this one.
It was never a perfect straight line.
All right, so
Well then. Do we
Okay, I
give
mean-
the Smiths a couple of days before we go chat with them, or
I
do
mean,
we think that'd be good to talk to them
if
now?
you're just looking for leverage against them, now is a good time. You know,
Well,
help them out.
well,
James,
right.
did you ever watch that security tape?
yes.
Did we?
I don't think you
I
did.
don't think we saw it. It's-
I'm okay with saying that you, James, watched it.
Yeah,
So,
I would
the-
have watched it.
when you initially watched it, it showed exactly what you saw and picked up on its like basic microphones exactly what you heard. While you guys are figuring out like, okay, what to do next, should we go talk to the Smiths? Do you want to play that for the pack?
Sure.
Okay. And so, you know, I'm picturing the back part of your barn having like workbenches and stuff and set up with like a VCR player with like a DVD player on top of it and like a TV and you pop it in. You guys see black and white security footage of James standing behind the counter. Eric comes walking up. You guys recognize him. Several of you went to school with him. James, I mean, everyone notices this. You know that this wasn't what it was before. So when James goes to talk, or when Eric goes to talk, instead of morning, it's morning. And it's like this clicking, drawn out sound. When James goes, morning, it is like as if James was a whale speaking the English word morning. It's like, morning.
Give the tape player a few flicks just to make sure it's not.
The screen kind of like flickers. The audio goes normal for a second.
It's whale
Okay.
speech. I'm speaking whale speech from Finding Nemo, is what you're telling
Yeah.
me.
Yes.
Does everything seem to be moving at the
Yeah.
correct speed?
Yeah, the video's playing fine. Just the sound's weird. At this point, you guys see Eric go to pull up money, and he says, "What do I owe you?" And this tentacle shoots through his back, and blood splatters all over James. And the tentacle wraps around Eric's neck and pulls him out of reality.
Yeah, that part was pretty gross.
You know, if it wasn't for that, I would just assume we were having problems with the tape player.
Yeah.
What the fuck was that?
The squid thing, I assume?
I mean, the last part, yes, but
Check for audio distortions.
Go to make me like an ink computer. Since that's the closest thing we have to tech on this character sheet.
3 successes, all of them from the same die.
Okay. No. Like you pop the tape out and you're like looking at it and like it doesn't seem damaged. Doesn't seem distorted.
Can I think of something else that would cause it on a supernatural level?
You can do it in occult.
Can I, though? I mean, we tried one of those earlier and it didn't go so well.
You may do an occult check.
You're allowed.
2 successes, but I'll burn one of my informed on the squid.
Sure. So, like, Ghost can mess with like audio stuff. Trickster spirits can mess with audio, video technology.
With an exceptional, what do I think it is, though?
So with an exceptional, so James, do you point out that it did not previously sound like that?
Yeah, I would be like, this is not what it was like when I was in the store still.
Within a
Was it like this when you watched it play back on your own?
I mean, in the store, yes. I haven't watched it since we got it back here, but
so with him pointing out that when he watched it on the store's equipment, it played fine. And him pointing out that this is the first time he's watched it once he's brought it back here, and an exceptional, tells you a couple things. First off, this audio distortion is probably not being caused by your squid friend. Second, it is probably being caused by something having to do with your farm or the area in your farm. But it could be too wide a range of things to just be like, yes, farm, yes, ghost. Yes, farm, yes, demon. Yes, farm, yes, spirit. But you can put together with an exceptional, this happened because we're watching it here on this farm.
Okay. In that case, I would like to spend some essence for a gift.
Okay.
I will spend a little power for road on this. All right, that is 4 successes, so it is I believe just a regular success.
Okay.
But still supernatural for Read the World Doom.
Okay. Which I opened almost straight to.
I think that's the MVP of gift list so far.
Yeah, no, it's a really useful gift. Okay, supernatural. Something crazy in humans versus something dwells. Okay. Within the next 24 hours, supernatural within your immediate area, within like the farm, you get the sense that something is supernatural is bleeding into the reality of your farm. Over the next 24 hours, it will not do anything that would have been noticed without you using this gift.
I will relay that. There is a supernatural effect that's really subtle that's here that's bleeding into our farm.
Is it from the shadow? Is it one of those stupid creatures that is a squid thing?
I don't think it's a squid thing.
I mean, I can look around to see if catch the scent of anything that shouldn't be here, but
And just to cover our bases, I'm going to look across and make sure there's not some weird ass loon just
fucking with you. Like
teabagging our DVD player.
Sure. Go ahead and give me a site-based perception. You're pretty near your loci, so I'll just give you a -1.
To be good at this, there's no reason not to shift into a more perceptive form.
You can if you want to. I mean, it's...
+4. Four successes.
Okay. So for successes, I will tell you what you don't see. You don't see loons floating around fucking with you. You don't see like banes or like corruption spirits or any other category of trickster spirits. You don't see any telltale signs of corruption. You know, you walk out of the barn, you look out upon your farm. You do not see, I'll give you a 4. You do not see the shape outline of the squid things. So you don't think they've come back since they fucked off. You don't see anything that that is that obvious. There's the positive of that, though, at least for the short term, is that whatever it is not a immediate threat, because otherwise you'd see more. Even if it was some sort of powerful spirit that can like obfuscate itself, you would still see its effect on the realm around it. This is something else. This is something very slow, very subtle. The other thing is, if it was more overt, which one of you casts the right on like the territory? One of you has a right that it's like on the territory. I know shit.
Wasn't that Anthony?
Okay, well he's still in your pack. So if it was like rank 5 Bane has entered the realm with the intention of just flipping the table of your farm, or a abyssal worshipping mage has walked into the physical realm and is about to set your farm on fire, his warning bells would have gone off. That's nothing like this.
Weird.
That's yeah, definitely odd.
Yeah, don't have ideas on this one. Things keep being sneaky, which makes it hard to eat them. I mean, claw them.
So,
So, based on what we've determined, our occultists and the like, is what is occurring to our territory at this moment a grave enough threat to deal with first? That is the question.
What's the rest of the list?
Well, the things going on with the Smiths, the things going on in Lake Panorama, which is related to those squid things, according to Spooky.
Oh yeah.
The shit in Des Moines that's going on, the Bechalou and West Branch was a thing. The Dubuque pack had their issues with getting mowed down by those not quite government people for what happened there. Take your pick.
Yeah. Well, the government people, the response for the people who own the territory seems to be lay low for a while. So, I mean, I don't know that sticking our nose in is going to make things better right now, unless they want help.
I kind of want to slay a dragon.
Yeah, we should probably find out more about that.
I don't see the opportunity to slay a dragon to come up again, and I kind of want to slay a dragon.
Yeah,
I think I could get a sword, like a big shiny one.
I'll make some phone calls, see if I can find some more about it.
okay. About the dragon.
Yeah, contact my occult book dealer contact to see if they have any books about dragon wolf hybrids.
There.
Let's see if you can find a bane that can be made into a sword.
Okay. Go ahead and make your social check. I'm gonna give you a -1 on the check since they're already in the process of like doing a thing for you.
Okay. And spend another willpower on that. For rote. Four successes.
Good. Okay. So, wolf dragons. So your occult book contact, which like being a occult bookstore owner in the Chronicles of Darkness is open-minded to the fact that there is supernatural shit. But like to the extent of a mortal that has maybe a dot or two of the supernatural merits. Like he's like, wow, okay. So like 6 hours ago, you are looking for entries to the walls between the realms, and now we are talking about wolf dragons. You are being very busy, my friend.
I lead an interesting life.
Seems so. And you hear him like he's moving through his shop. We'll say his shop is located in one of the big college towns, but not Iowa City. So maybe Cedar Falls, actually, because you already have a pack connection up there. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's good.
Cool. So you hear him like he's clearly walking around, and he does. You can tell he's doing the shoulder thing, and like going like page. That's not it. Huh. Wolf dragon, you say?
I do.
Did you know out of the various legends of dragons, which I'm sure, friend, I don't have to tell you, there are legends of dragons on 6 of the 7 continents. Probably would have been on all 7 if Antarctica was more known for bookkeeping.
Who knows what penguin legends look like?
Correct. But there are dragon legends around the world, and they have some things in common. They have some things that are culturally different. But there's only one legend about wolf dragons. The only legend about a wolf dragon is from the considered by most occultists to be mad ravings, which I often find means there's a grain of truth to them. Of a early settler from Europe to the North Americans who was exploring cave systems, going deep into North American soil, and came up quite mad. But fortunately for you and I, did not lose the ability to write. God bless him. He said that the crew that went with him. Let me just read it to you. And it was on that day that the men and I journeyed deep into the dark recesses of this strange land. We knew that we were in the domain of a powerful predator. We found the remains of creatures. We shuddered, but some of those bones were certainly of man. We turned a corner, and the tunnels opened into a chamber impossibly large. The seafaring vessel that took us from our homeland to here could have fit inside of this cavern. It was that big. Was at that moment that the first member of the party was consumed as one of the heads of the wolf dragon came into our torchlight's range and devoured Smith in one bite. I fled backwards and looked for something to use, anything to use to defend myself from the monstrosity. That's when I realized a second dragon wolf serpent was there with us. No, the same, but a second head. And it consumed my lifelong friend Malcolm, cut him in half with his jaws. In a crazed, desperate attempt, I reached for what was on the ground and grabbed the sharpened bones of a human and stabbed at the creature. And somehow I managed to pierce through its thick, leather, scaly skin, and it howled in pain. Something about the bone dived deep into it, and its howl shook the entire cavern. The rocks began to fall. I was the only one that survived the cave-in. People shall certainly think me mad for these tales. So, it sounds like this man ran into a multi-headed dragon wolf thing deep in the earth that is somehow weak against human bones.
Cool.
I hope that's helpful for whatever strange research you were doing.
Learning that there are dragon wolf hydras is always useful.
Quite. And, oh, you hear like a bell. I have customers.
Appreciate it as always. So, guys, not a dragon, actually a hydra.
Ooh, That sounds
That's not
even
better.
more fun to fight.
Don't hydras have the ability where if you cut off their heads, 2 more grow in their place?
Some do.
Maybe it has venom we can collect.
Also, apparently, it can be injured by stabbing it with human bones. Now, that's true of a lot of things, but maybe this one especially so.
So bone sword is what I'm hearing?
That is what I heard.
Does it have to be a normal human? Because, I mean, I can just tear out one of my own tibias if you try to make a weapon out of that.
We have a sample size of 1, so unclear.
Alright, so what I'm hearing is I need to make a collection of bone swords from various sources and see which one works.
Yes, we need to perform werewolf science on the Hydra.
I am 100% down for this.
Oh.
Do we know anyone else who can regenerate? And wouldn't mind losing a tibia? Well, probably more than a tibia if I'm making a sword out of it.
I think anyone who is currently alive would take umbrage to losing a tibia.
Can the mage heal people who have lost entire bones?
Do you call Fisher? Do you call Fisher in?
I will call Fisher.
He comes in. He's like, "Hey, fellas, how can I help you?"
Can you heal a person who has lost an entire bone? Well, collection of bones.
Oh, certainly faster than normal.
Right, but if the bone is gone, can you grow that back?
Well, I can't say I have tried, but I would be fascinated to attempt this procedure.
Okay, would you be willing to lend a bone to the cause? The cause is killing a dragon. I'm gonna lend my own, so don't think I'm asking you to do anything I wouldn't do myself.
I suppose.
Should have grabbed some cultist bones while we were on the way out. Alright.
I mean, there's also not that I would normally say this is a good idea, but there are a bunch of cemeteries with bones.
I
not
mean,
too far away.
I'd prefer them fresh. I feel like that increases the odds of it working properly. But take what I can get.
I mean, if we want to swing back by the church, we can probably find some bone.
They haven't cleaned it yet.
I feel like it would probably take a while for them to get all of that out of there.
That was quite a mess. Or failing that, break into wherever they keep evidence, I would assume. It's got to be some human bone in there. Maybe have an Ither shove a spirit in some of these, see if that also works.
So Fisher's looking here and he's like, so are we getting the bones used? Are we trying to remove our bones and regrow them?
I want to have a diverse collection of bones to make bone weapons out of to slay a dragon, because we're not entirely sure what criteria the bones need to be in.
We should, if we're actually going to go ahead and do this, we should RSVP to the Des Moines PAX so that they know that we're interested. We have
Maybe they have
line
bones
on something as a potential weakness to this creature, and then we should make plans.
James, you could sneak into a golf course, right?
Theoretically, yeah.
Alright, I think we got options for fresh bones.
You want me to take a bunch of bones from dead old people?
I mean, like I said, just trying to get the largest possible sample size of bones to try against the dragon. I mean, if the first one works, great, but no.
You know, they're probably not going to leave the bodies on the golf course. They're going to be in a morgue.
Okay,
Also,
can
do
you
we
break
think they
into a
need to
morgue?
be handheld weapons, or do we know a good bowyer?
I mean, bows aren't really my style, but I'm all for
They
any
are mine,
options.
though.
Do you think someone in this, in our pack, could rig a shotgun to shoot bones?
Bone pellets.
Just no, I'm thinking just like one big long bone that you shoot out of like a harpoon gun for bones.
Let's make a potato gun or something. Make it bone
I suppose that could
shaped.
work theoretically.
Okay, so I'm gonna go back to fishing, and
We'll call you if we need you.
yeah, you let me know if you decide to go with the one idea where we pull our own bones out. I would
Oh.
rather go with the idea where you go find a collection of other people's bones.
I'm definitely using my own bones, regardless of whether or not anyone else wants to volunteer. Because killing a dragon with a weapon made from your own bones is the raddest thing I've ever heard of.
Like Fisher's willing if you want to try to pull one of your bones out. He's willing to see if his life magic is up to snuff to grow your bone back.
I mean, werewolf will grow back eventually anyway.
Right?
So, are you going to go with the arm bone, the leg bones? Which bone are you going to try and take out
rib?
to use for this?
Okay, so Spooky has more dots of medicine than I do.
Okay, so go ahead and give me an int medicine check, and I will tell you, based on your success, which bones would not hinder you as much. In case your base XP life spirit mage friend doesn't have the regeneration rote.
He almost certainly does not.
Okay, one success, so I can't dramatically fail your one bone to remove.
So you're thinking a rib. You could go without a rib
All right.
until wolf regeneration grows it back in case Fisher can't fix it.
Okay. Someone get a tarp.
There's tarps.
I mean, we don't need a tarp. The soil of our farm literally absorbs blood. You'll
All
be
right,
fine.
we'll do this outside. Then.
There you go. So you got to the field with Fisher. Go ahead and give me, because you're certainly, especially in like anything that's not normal man mode, you certainly are in a or normal wolf because the head just can't quite reach back to the rib. You're certainly able to rip your own rib out. Give me a willpower check. Just to make sure you can be like, yeah. Ah!
Spooky will do this in Dalu just to make sure he can breach the skin quickly with claws.
Did you get a success?
We have 3 successes. Spooky's apparently prepared for self-naming.
Okay, so you guys had Fisher watch. Spooky's like, ah! He pulls out a piece of one of his ribs. It's like, ah! Fisher quickly reaches forward and like touches hands on Spooky. And Spooky, you feel the damage mystically heal. But you feel this ache because the rib does not heal.
Okay.
Palm harder.
So, note to self, the mage cannot regrow bones instantly.
Alright, we'll have to wait on
Not
getting
with that attitude.
the rib back.
I mean, not yet. Someday, maybe.
So what I'm going to say is for the next the next few in-game days, you're at a -1 on physical. because like you're like, ow.
I get the reasoning for it. Yeah, that tracks.
So, but you have one of your own ribs. You can use it to make a dagger or an arrow.
And your torso is a little bit more flexible than it used to be.
I'll find
Babes, you had to go there?
I'll find Anthony's
Just a little.
character to see if he can make a weapon out of it.
Okay. Anthony's character. Yeah. Yeah. He's got like crafts 4. He raises an eyebrow when you walk forward with a podium.
Don't worry,
Just
it's
like, where
my
did you
rib.
get this rib?
And after like
you have to clarify that it's yours.
You assure him it's yours. He goes, yeah, I can put that on the tip of a weapon. It'll take me like a couple days because I want to be careful. It's not ideal crafting material, but if you take some care while crafting with it, you can make it the tip of a spear or the end of a sword, or like a dagger. Do you have a preference?
I prefer to go big.
Go big? Okay, we can. He needs to look and he's thinking. He's like, okay, if you give me like a day or two, what I could do is I can make a sword out of traditional metal, and then I can kind of use your bone to coat like the tip.
Sounds good to me. And
Okay.
if
Yeah,
you
we
can
can do
perfect the technique, we may need a few more of those, but it won't be my rib.
Noted. And so he tosses the grease rack like back on the engine of the thing he's working on. And
how do you feel about arrows also made from bone?
I think I can
mean,
figure
really,
it
that
out.
sounds easier. Arrows break.
Yeah. So, but he clears off a workbench and like gestures where you can put your rib, and he goes, "It's I'm gonna need like a day, a solid day." And he goes over and starts like heating up the forge that's in the back, and
All right.
And so he starts his crafting timer.
All right, good news, everyone. Sample 01 is in progress.
Okay. Meanwhile, does somebody send an RSVP to Des Moines?
Yeah, I'll respond to the message.
Okay.
I will also let them know that we think bone is an effective weapon, but we aren't sure, and one of our pack members is planning to test that theory.
Okay. So yeah, you'll get a very brief like thank you, let us know when you're coming reply. So all right, cool. So are you, James, are you going to go find alternative means of bones? You are the sneaky one. The bones of all the dead church people are probably in the Cedar Falls morgue. The bones of people on that golf course, which admittedly that golf course is like a 2-hour drive from here. But if that's an ongoing old people battle royale on a large golf course and large country club, it could probably still be going on 2 hours from now.
I think old people bone is probably not our best bet. I mean, they tend to have weak bones anyway, so I'm gonna go try and get some bones from the church people.
Okay, is anyone going with James now that you're all caught up on current things? Is everyone going with James up to Cedar Falls?
I mean, Spooky doesn't have anything else to do until the sword's finished.
All right. Spooky grabs like an ice pack and sits in the back of the car.
Were we going to do anything with the Smiths either first or concurrently?
We should, honestly, because we're gonna need to, if we want to leverage and eventually get their land as our land, we need to actually do something about that.
I mean, we know for a fact that he he's currently having some financial problems, and now he needs a lawyer. We could always offer to purchase some of their land in exchange for paying for his legal counsel.
Yeah, it's true. But yeah, I should at the very least go and deal with that. Having assistance in that regard would be nice from a knowledge standpoint, since my character is, since I am not as I'm not as good in those legal realms as others are. So the book might help, though.
Yeah, I can come. Getting him in the right mood would probably be a good idea.
All right, so Uncle Ben and Jim are going to the Smiths while James and Spooky go to Cedar Falls? Okay. So James and Spooky, are you taking any other pack mates with you?
Let's take the thing behind the rose.
Okay.
The terror word.
Yeah, that was what I was thinking too.
Terror Bird? Okay. Okay, so Terror Bird.
I mean, I think you guys need the terror bird, right?
Oh no, I was sorry. I was thinking the thing that lurks in.
Okay.
Not the terror bird.
The Terror Bird will not be shoving itself into the back of your car.
I mean, I think
terror bird
the social team needs the terror bird
Bull.
just to make sure they know that they need your help because you're bigger than they are.
Okay, so in that case, it'll be James and Spooky taking a truck, and the thing behind the rose is like hiding right behind like the window that lets you see into the bed of your truck.
All right then.
All right, cool. So you guys are in travel time, as it were. Jim and Uncle Ben, you head over to the Smith house. As you come pulling up, almost the whole family has been called to the main house. Their dirt driveway is full of cars and trucks, and you can hear, like, as soon as you open your door, you can hear just loud conversation going on inside the house. It also helps that they have their actual door open and they just have the screen door closed. One of the younger Smiths, you think her name was Lindsay, opens the door and goes, "What? I don't know if now's a good time. We're having a lot of family problems right now."
Yeah, that's why we're here.
Okay.
We wanted to be as supportive as a good neighbor as we could.
Okay.
Brought some cookies.
Okay. One sec. She like goes in, and she comes back out just like a moment later, opens the screen door and goes, "Y'all coming in?" And so their farmhouse, similar relative design to yours, large farmhouse, a couple dozen people ranging from, werewolves are there, ranging from late teens all the way to the oldest one present is Ma Smith, who is in her early 70s. And then ages all between, and they're all having debates on like what's the priority. Get to the bottom of no, we gotta get Pa taken care of. He's being framed. He didn't do no fraud. And then the other half are like, but we've got to figure out where Eric is. Eric's missing. He went into town to get some coffee, and he's missing. Two of you walk in, and Ma raises her hand, and she goes, children, we have neighbors bringing comfort offerings, and they kind of quiet down and give nods to you, and since when you like offer the cookies, they come forward and they're all like, thank you kindly, thank you. and they all take a cookie, and Ma looks at the two of you and goes, Jim, Ben, you visit us in a particularly bad day.
Yeah,
Well,
we kind of gathered that. It's kind of why we're here, see if we could be neighborly.
if we could be helpful in any way.
Well, we got two key problems, as you might have heard the family arguing over which is the priority. One, as you saw, Pa got pulled away. It seems like those shifty realtors that were trying to get us to buy some of the Billings land, it seems like they were up to no good, and they're trying to use Pa as a scapegoat.
Knew we couldn't trust those city fucks.
Exactly.
Pardon me, as I say, acknowledging the children present.
Well, none of the little kids are present. This is adult talk.
Adult talk only, so no apologies needed then.
Yeah. And she's like, yeah. And I tried telling him that when the building's ready to sell, that they'll sell. We don't have to get any outsiders involved, and this is what happened. The other issue is Eric went on into town and hasn't come back. That's not like him. So I think ultimately where this debate was going to go is some of the family was going to look into what we can do to help Pa, and some of the family were going to go into town and try to find Eric. If you're offering assistance, we'll take assistance in either of those camps.
Well, it sounds to me like what Pa needs is a lawyer. I mean, a bit of a dirty word, but that's the kind of trouble we find ourselves in.
No, you're right.
And we happen to know some pretty decent lawyers who know the way around these parts. And I would be more sympathetic and not just some city-based
money
wrench.
vacuum.
Right.
Well, that would be appreciated. I certainly would not object to you assisting in that way. And that frees up more of the family to go and knock on doors in town to see where Eric's headed.
Agreed. And then, in which case, what we can do is see about checking in with what is going to be needed for the lawyers to help you out. I know none of that's going to be cheap either, so that's going to be a different conversation entirely. But
Of course.
we'll see what we can do to help out.
We appreciate it. I know Pa didn't have much of an open door policy with neighbors as I was raised to do, but the ironic thing about the current situation is I'm in charge of the house. My mom and pa raised me to believe that neighbors are all we got. It's family, it's God, then family, then your neighbors. That's it. So you tell me what you need to help us. I'll make sure it gets to you.
Well, we'll do some we'll make some calls and see what we can come up with, and then we will let you know what they're going to need, and we'll see what we can do to tackle this head on together.
Appreciated. So, yeah. So, and that interaction completely matches with what you'd always heard about the family, that it really is just Pa being the one in charge like, and pause very much like, God, I guess, because I have to say that because I'm a rule guy. And then me and my family, and then no one else is very much his mindset. Everyone else in the family is like, Pa, you're kind of like an asshole, but I guess you're in charge. So, cool. So in that case, you guys leave.
Yeah, we'll definitely make a show of when I get to the suppose the truck that we were driving to pull out one of the books that we have that is obviously a contact list that
Right.
they would know, and then we'll do we'll do the rest off camera at this point
Sounds
for
good.
them.
Sounds good. James and Spooky, do you give a call up to the Cedar Falls Pack to let them know that you'll be in the area?
We should.
Yeah, probably when we're like 15 minutes out.
Fair. Yeah. All right. So you call. Logan answers. He says, "Okay. I mean, we'll never say no to you guys coming to visit, and you helped us out, but you should be aware. You know how you gave us a heads up about like government vans, government people coming around?
Yep.
Yeah. No, they're here. They're having meetings with the local police. So you
So be extra careful is what you're telling me. Gotcha.
Yeah.
We have a plan B for Bones.
But fortunately for you, there's two different morgues. One of them's tied to the police station. One of them's tied to the hospital. And well, there were too many bodies or parts of bodies to go to just one morgue. So I would advise going to the one at the hospital.
Yeah, that probably would have been my first choice anyway. So,
which is a good 10-minute drive away from the police station. So in case anything goes bad, you have a small window to get away before these strange people in their vans show up.
Yep.
All right. Good luck. Let us know if you need help.
Will do.
Cool. You have no problem finding the main hospital. It's a sizable hospital. And the morgue does have an external entrance. It's on the backside from the emergency room entrance. It is not an entrance designed for you to pull up a random farm truck and go to, but the parking lot goes all the way around the hospital, so you can park anywhere.
That's fine. I don't think it's going to be too big of a problem to find a place to park.
Right.
Spooky will activate his death mask as he gets into town.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So Spooky activates his "Don't remember me, don't look at me" mask. Okay. So you park. What do you guys do from there?
The entrance, there's probably not an easy unsecured entrance into the morgue itself directly, but we can find a close one to go in, I imagine.
Yeah, you can find like one of the side doors that leads into a waiting room for the in-hospital pharmacy is on the same side of the building.
Okay. What time of day is it right now?
Approaching evening.
Okay.
You guys have had a pretty busy day.
So I am going to do a couple of different things here, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to start by activating, what is the name of that particular ability? Shadow Pelt, which just gives me a couple of it gives me rote actions on some stealth checks.
Okay.
In case I need to make stealth checks.
Okay. Cool.
I am also going to spend a little bit of extra essence and activate Slip Away, which is people who see me have a very difficult time remembering my face and the like. And then we're gonna go in and kind of, I suspect, like, so we go into the whatever the closest entrance is. Is there like a reception desk there? Is it manned at the moment? Because I know a lot of times in the evenings at hospitals they have like several different places where only the main desk has a person at it.
Yeah, there's a reception desk. There is a older lady sitting there, leaning super close into the computer monitor. Doesn't seem to really be paying attention to the door. There's not anybody in the waiting room at this moment. And then there's a hallway that leads past it that then takes you into, like, deeper into the hospital.
Okay. I was hoping a person wouldn't be at that desk right now, but okay.
You don't think she's paying attention to you.
So yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and walk in and go past her. I don't know what Spooky's doing at the moment.
Yep, Spooky's following your lead, at least for now.
Okay.
Okay. You can just walk past her. She doesn't look up.
Okay. The entrance that goes to the morgue, is that a secured entrance? Is it locked? And if so, how is it locked? Does it have like a key card thing or?
So, okay. So you get into the hallway past the pharmacy part. You get to kind of a directory on a wall. It gets you to where the morgue is.
Okay.
Outside of the morgue is a small, like, sitting area. And then there's a door that is locked by a electronic key card.
Okay. So I'm gonna look at Spooky and I'm gonna say, look, you need to keep a lookout here. Things are probably gonna get a little bit crazy when I do this. Just a heads up. And I am going to activate Shutdown. And the let me actually roll to make sure that it works before I say what happens. Yeah, that's a success. So for the next scene, lights within 100 yards of this location sort of function. They flicker ominously. CCTV and cameras don't function. Recording devices don't work. Any electronic security systems stop functioning. And then I'm just gonna go into the morgue.
Okay. Cool. So the door opens, and Spooky stays in the lobby. There's magazines. Yeah. So does James stealth as he moves through the hallway towards?
Heck yes.
Okay, so go to make a dex and stealth, and it is road action for you at the moment.
Seven successes.
Okay. You are sneaking on up towards that.
And I'm gonna go ahead and take Inspired for that.
Go for it.
I'm so good at sneaking.
I am pulling up. Pulling up some notes. Give me 1 second. Didn't expect you to come up here at this exact moment. Fun. Okay. Okay. So you you are sneaking down this hallway, and the lights are kind of flickering because of your ability.
Yep.
And you are approaching on the left an office door, but you can see up ahead are doors that are there just to kind of control the flow of air that just push open. You can hear conversation going on the other side of those doors. Do you like sneak up right up to them and listen to it?
Yeah.
Okay. That takes you past the office door. There's no light on in the office door, but you can see the glow of computer monitors.
Mm-hmm.
You get right up to those doors. You hear a adult woman's voice go, huh, and this over here, is this injury typical of wolf attacks, would you say, sir? And goes, yes, ma'am. It does look like you can see here and here, and then you hear a different male's voice go. Oh, yeah, no, that makes sense. Hey, darling, take a look at this. Make note. And you hear a younger female voice, maybe preteen, maybe early teen, go. Right, fascinating. I'm making note, and you hear this, like the sound of like a screen being tapped, like somebody tapping on a tablet.
Lovely. Can I still see the place where Spooky's just kind of like standing around at the moment?
No.
Okay.
No, that's on the other side of a door.
And I presume the morgue is past where these people are talking.
This flap is where the bodies are.
Okay.
On the other side. Yeah.
If those people are what I think they are, I don't really want to go in there trying to attack them. I'm just going to go back to where Spooky's at the moment.
Okay.
And fill him in, let him know that I think the government people are here in the morgue talking to people about these bodies.
Knock 'em out.
I mean, we know that they can stop us from transforming, so I'm not sure how good of an idea it is to try and attack them at the moment.
I don't see that as a particularly big obstacle.
If you want to join me.
Okay, I'm just up front. I am confident in my ability to knock normal people out. I am not confident in my ability to do so quietly.
Yeah, unfortunately, I still don't have the gift that will let me give you my stealth. Sorry.
So, I'm all for grabbing some government spooks and counter-spooking them, but, I don't want to jeopardize your thing.
No, I think if we're gonna go in here, you could give it a shot, see if you can manage to stealth up there. But even if you can't, I mean, there's already some distractions happening here. So the fact that they're not bothered by those distractions is a little disconcerting. But yeah.
Okay. Let's go.
Okay. So, James and Spooky make a Dex stealth check. And there's some negatives you have, but you also have some positives, so they eliminate each other. So just do deck stuff.
Spooky does not succeed.
You want to get a beat?
Let's make that dramatic. Spooky is not quiet. Spooky is a confident creature, not a quiet one.
5 successes that time instead of 7. But
James
you know,
goes on ahead, carefully goes in, sneaks in, is approaching. James, you hear as Spooky is opening the door and just getting ready just to walk in and let it slam shut. You hear from inside the room 3 voices, 2 female, 1 male, in the middle of saying something about for the protection of our land, for the protection of our family, for the protection of our country, for the protection of our beliefs.
of course.
And then the door like slams shut behind you and they stop talking. And then they shut the lights off.
So even the flickering lights stop.
Yep.
Oh, lovely. I'm just going to hold up 3 fingers towards the very not stealthy companion that's with me and just be like,
Can do. Spooky can see in the dirt.
yep. Just letting you know, there's at least 3 of them.
Okay.
I'm going to let you go first because you're way better at killing things than I am.
Yeah, you have the drop though, which means you can activate your first bat gift. I am also activating some gifts.
Hey. So James, what gifts are you activating?
I
Check of how much essence you're spending.
I've
Still are relatively low power.
I have
I'm just activating the strength buff and the 8 again on melee attacks.
yeah, I don't have any particular gifts that I want to activate at this point. So
Okay.
My gifts are more about doing other things and not about killing stuff. So
Okay. So James still going forward?
yeah, actually, can we see them at all at this point or just hear them?
No.
Okay.
And you can't hear them right now.
Yeah, that's so
You
yeah.
have not gone through those doors yet.
Yep. So I'm going to go through ready to activate a gift depending on what they have.
Okay. Okay, so you just like pop through? You
Yeah, I mean, there's not really another way to do this, is there? Yes. I'm going to go with yes on that one.
okay. Do all werewolves have a way to see in the dark?
Yeah, just I'll double check it is, but all werewolves just have supernaturally good vision.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I mean, we have better senses than people normally
Well,
do.
and even then, even with all the lights off, so you come in, the doors flap open, and you can see your gift starts affecting the exit sign. There's a rear exit, and it starts flickering, causing the room to be like red, dark, red, dark, red, dark.
Yep.
Yeah. All penalties due to darkness are halved for Rotha.
Okay. So when it's dark, it's like a -1 penalty, and then there's no penalty. It's kind of pulsing. There are tables all laid out that are coming out of the different walls that have the attempted jigsaw puzzles in progress of people.
All right then.
there's like 4 tables on your left pulled out, 5 tables on your right, and there appears to be no one else in the room. There's a couple of the tables on the left and like a couple tables on the right seem to be kind of a frustrated, okay, these are like 4 people, and we're just kind of, as politely as we can, like, this is basically like a complete person and we're putting parts on them. But there appears to be nobody in the room.
Somewhere from far away, you hear a voice, "Take some femurs and run."
And Spooky and James are both in human, right?
Yeah, at the moment,
Yeah.
yes. So I am going to, there's plenty of stuff around here. I'm gonna, I was not super stealthy coming into this room, but I'm going to like basically drop into a crouch in case something attacks me that I can't see, and like stealth my way over to one of the tables where there's potentially stuff that we can take that like is out in the open.
Just tons of stuff.
Yep.
So you get to a table before Spooky enters the room. There is like this, the upper half is a woman's body. The lower half is like some intestines and a rib cage, just kind of all like piled together. Make me a wits medicine check.
Oh, hey. Jeez. Okay. That's 2 successes.
Cool. Spooky opens the door at this point as it's going black. When it goes red, because you got 2 successes, you will get your defense when the organs fall off the hand and the gun shoots you. So what is your defense?
Did they pull a Hannibal Lecter?
What is my defense? 5.
Okay. Is any of that defense due to supernatural enhancements?
No, that's just my regular human defense.
Okay. Okay. What's the damage rating on like a heavy pistol? Like 2?
2.
Okay. Do you have any non-supernatural armor?
I have heavy clothing, like clothing that's appropriate for farm work. It gives me a rating of 1/0, so I don't think it applies in this case.
Okay. Then take 4 ag from a silver bullet.
Ow.
Ow.
And roll initiative.
One general should still apply. You just don't downgrade anything to bashing because there's no ballistic rating.
Okay. Take 3 ag. Is that how
Yep.
that works? So take
Also,
3
ow.
ag from a silver bullet.
Still ow.
As if you had ballistic armor, it would reduce additional amounts to bashing damage as the bullets fail to penetrate you.
John, what's your initiative?
9. I rolled really low.
What's Spooky's initiative?
10. I rolled average.
Okay. Okay. So they go first. The woman like opens her eyes and says soliloquy, "By our God, we do not fear you," and tries to shoot you again, James.
I don't like that idea. Please don't.
Okay, I would like to do something.
Do you have an interrupt?
So I'm at Harmony 6 now, which means I can shapeshift as a reflexive action without spending anything.
Okay.
And then in Little Wolf, I can spend an essence to do an interrupt.
Okay, cool. So what's your interrupt?
Pounce on the person trying to shoot my friend.
Fair enough. Okay. She is currently prone, so she does not get her defense, and I want to see you get a +2 on the pounce.
Okay. So give me a moment to form the dice pool here. And I'm going to spend a willpower, so it's the people are shaking if they want to attack me in this round. Seven successes.
Okay. Oh, yeah, okay. So you feel
You're a
there's
little wolf.
It's yes, I'm
No.
Little Wolf, so it's +1 lethal.
okay. You feel some, or do you have some sort of armor piercing?
Yeah. I do not, because that would cost points.
Okay. Then you feel some sort of armor underneath the clothing, but they do take some of that damage.
And yeah, so and I spent the willpower, so I am super scary right now.
And make me a visual perception check. Just spooky.
Hey, I'm a Little Wolf, so that's still pretty good. Except the dice weren't so nice to me. One success.
One's all you need. You know you are super scary right now. You know from the look on her face as she just kind of grins as you claw into her side, she gives no fucks.
Ooh.
Because by her god and by her hunter tactics, she does not give shit about your supernatural fear.
Fair enough.
Okay, so Spooky, what is your non-supernaturally enhanced defense against firearms?
I mean, against firearms, it's just the size of the firearm, but because Little Wolf can't dodge bullets.
So none?
Yeah.
Okay.
If I'm in melee range, I get the size of the gun, which second gun,
Right.
so it wouldn't be much. But
Okay. She is going to you'll get defense against her. It's a heavy pistol, which I think is size 2.
I think that's just size 1 because it's a.
Size 1. Okay, so you'll get 1.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. Do you have any non-supernatural armor that applies right now?
Spooky does not.
Okay. So take 5 ag from a silver bullet.
Ow.
James, behind you, 2 of the bodies sit up, letting visceral and bones fall off of them. It is a teenage girl and a middle-aged man, and they both have heavy pistols, and they're taking shots at you.
Well, that's not good.
Okay. The man hits you for, after we subtract 1 for your 1, 3 more ag for silver.
Oh, okay. Ow.
You may want to spend for interrupt on this next attack.
Spend for what?
Alright, what's your primal urge?
2.
And what's your harmony?
5.
Okay, so you could do the same thing I did, which is turn into a little wolf and then circumvent their turn.
Okay. Okay. How much health do you have left?
1.
That's why I'm recommending you do the interrupt. You
Yeah,
don't have
give
to
me a
spend it.
sec.
You don't have to spend it for the attack. You can just bolt out of the room or something.
Okay, yeah, so you may wish to, as teenage girl who's gonna make her dad proud, you see like in slow motion with your senses, she's aiming her gun like right between your eyes and is
Yes.
pulling the trigger.
Yeah, I was checking a different thing. Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna get the heck out of there.
Okay. So yep, you spend the essence, interrupt, and you take your turn now and do full movement out. She still does her shot, but the bullet goes over Spooky's head and hits metal on the other side. So, Spooky, didn't your interrupt count as your turn?
Yeah, I don't get a second action.
Cool. So then it goes back to the top of the initiative, which is the hunters. Okay. So the one in front of you is going to try to shoot you again. Subtracting the size of the weapon for that.
So spend an essence for another interrupt.
Okay, you interrupt.
Yes.
Do you follow your packmate the fuck out?
Yes, I am.
Now, my understanding, isn't being damaged by silver a universal Kuruth trigger?
I believe it is, yes.
Okay.
So I am in Big Wolf. That was what that meant.
My also understanding is that James is immune to auto Kuruth triggers because he's at Harmony 5.
Yes. I'm not though.
Spooky is not. So what is your timer, Spooky?
Spooky's timer, I'm at 6, so that's 5 minutes, I think.
5 minutes. 5 minutes at Big Wolf Farm running. And if you're behind James, James is causing the security cameras to flicker.
Yeah, they go out, so
Okay, so
that won't be a problem.
Spooky and James in Wolf and Big Wolf Farm run the fuck out of this hospital.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay then. What do you guys can, with a minute to spare on Spooky's timer, make it back to your truck? And like the thing behind the rose is like looking at Spooky about to freak out, looking at Spooky with like a bullet wound, like when and James, you got shot twice?
Yes.
So James has a bullet wound in the stomach and a bullet wound in the shoulder, and thing behind the rose is like sniffing, like silver.
Yeah.
like and looks at Spooky and goes, James, you should drive. He's gonna lose it.
Do I see in the area where we are currently standing, do I see like a van that looks like it might be theirs?
Give me a site-based perception check.
Three successes, and I'm going to spend one of my inspired to bump that up to a.
So you look around. I'm assuming you're like putting keys in the ignition on the truck.
Yes.
Okay. You're looking around and you're like, vans, and your eyes go over like a soccer mom van.
Yeah,
like
that's not going to be it.
And you look around, you're like a black van, and you look back over the Toyota Sienna, and a like late 30s man and woman are getting out of the sides of the Sienna, and the man like pats a massive dog like on the ass and points at you, and this dog like bolts.
Okay.
As the soccer mom and dad pull a heavy pistol out from behind their shirts and start walking towards your truck.
Okay. So I'm gonna pull out, and as I am pulling out of that space, since there is no one currently in or operating that van, I am going to spend one more essence and use unmake on one of the like tire wells.
Okay.
So all of the parts just like fall out of it.
Okay. Is that a check?
There is a check, but it is not opposed because there's no one currently operating the van.
Cool. Okay. Just do the check and don't fail it.
Yeah, I got a success.
Cool. Yeah. And I hear the crunch, and that does cause them both to like turn their heads back. That dog does try to chase you as you're going, but the thing behind the rose sneaks from under the window, turns, looks over the gate, and goes boo, and like tries to invoke the feelings of fear at the dog, and succeeds. The dog's like stops chasing, like looks around like something really scary just happened.
I told y'all to bring the terror bird.
The one person was immune to fear.
I'm gonna go ahead and back out of that space, and like as I shift down into drive and basically just peel out of the driveway or out of the space out of the parking lot, I will reach my hand out and flip him off as I drive away.
Fair. Okay. What are you doing about the fact that in 30 seconds Spooky's gonna go into frenzy?
I don't have anything that can deal with that. So I'm gonna get us what's around the hospital? Like very close by.
In that area, if you go one direction, you go towards the college campus. Go another direction, you go towards kind of a mixture of forest and residential.
So I'm gonna be like booking it that direction. I presume since you're close to frenzy, you're in the back of this truck at the moment.
Well, and I'm in Big Wolf. There's no way I'm sitting on the.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. So I'm gonna hope that he doesn't manage to destroy the truck before I can like pull off into one of the like forested areas.
All right. So I will say you managed to pull off into one of the forested areas, and Spooky's got enough sense left to dive off the truck and go charging into the forest.
Yep. There's going to be a lot of destroyed trees. But
fortunately, it's only 10 minutes, but...
Yeah, at least we won't. I won't have to worry about cleaning up more bodies.
So the on the camera time session will end with Spooky charging off. There will likely be reports in the news of wolf howls and growls. As James sits, what are you doing? Do you
I mean, I don't have any ranks in medicine, but I'm going to be like trying to stop my bleeding.
Okay.
Just I've watched a lot of TV shows sort of way.
Spooky can help with that when he calms down.
Give me okay. I'll let you do an int check at a -3. No, I'll let you sub survival. I'll let you do int survival.
Well, then that's... no, I did not get any successes. And I don't think it's a very good idea for me to take a dramatic failure at this juncture.
Probably
so
not.
I'm going to pass on that.
You remove your own rib.
So
Hooray!
In your attempt to stop the bleeding, you do, but like it takes you almost the whole time that he is frenzying on trees and deer and shit in the forest, and you've lost a lot of blood, and you fall unconscious for a few minutes, and that is where we will leave things.
All right.
Oh, hey, deer bones.
Good job,
I mean,
guys.
we wanted
Good job.
human, but maybe take him just in case anyway.
He didn't say that he knew that those were human bones. He just thought they were human bones. You never know.
So,
One can never have too many bone weapons. Is the
okay then. So, that was that. You had a nice, interesting run-in with Tier 2 Hunter the Vigil Hunters.
boo silver bullets.
Um, so, any thoughts from anyone?
Today's not a thinking day.
I mean, we went to go find some bones, and now we are boned. So close enough.
Today is going to be a chill session, huh?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
That was-
honestly didn't think. I have noted where all the antagonists in the game are at any session before I start the session. Unless you guys have been drawing attention to yourselves personally, they don't come to you.
I mean,
I
we know
cannot
that they're.
control that when you guys are like, okay, let's make a lore check to find the bane of this monster. Oh, it's human bones. Let's go to where one of the antagonists are.
I did recommend we go and just ransack some cemeteries. Just saying.
I didn't think there'd be hunters there. For all we know, there are hunters at the cemetery. The weird guy who's raising dead is there.
Dubuque, there is
A
an
different
angel.
cemetery.
In Dubuque, there is an angel at a cemetery.
So they might be checking out other cemeteries just to be on the safe side. We don't know that.
Hey, cool. So in that case, I will go ahead and wrap things up. Thank you for those that joined. Everyone out there, be safe. Where you can, try to find entertainment remotely like this for a couple weeks. And I will be back should be doing Dystopian Rising Session 1 this Tuesday. I have all the notes on that. I'm ready to go. And then I'll be back next week with Session 8, where we will get to learn the sad truth that unless you have an active healing gift, werewolves heal ag pretty standard.
That's a little faster than usual. We heal 1 per 4 days instead of like 1 per week.
There you go. So, all right, then.
Oh.
Good time management now.
Right. All right. Well, thank you all for joining and have a great rest of your day. Bye for now.